All right, everyone, so for the next 3 days, I'm gonna be surviving on a chain of uninhabited mangrove islands along the coastline of Australia.
Oh, wobbegong shark, right there.
I'm gonna have to hunt for my own food.
There we go. Take a look at that. Giant mud crab.
Build primitive fires to cook fish, squid, and mud crabs on. And survive with some of the deadliest creatures on Earth that are living in and around these islands with me.
And take a look at this big fella, sitting down here on this sandbank.
We're starting our adventure in this little mangrove system. We're gonna be heading up it and seeing what creatures we can find. But first, let's build a primitive spear to try and catch some food with. So we're just gonna make this spear. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. If I throw it at a rock, which I no doubt will, about 6 or 7 times tonight, we can always resharpen it. How cool is this? Hunting down this little mangrove system. Now the main island that we're heading to over the next few days is actually a long way from here, and it's nicknamed Mud Crab Island because the locals around this area have caught some of the biggest mud crabs that have ever been caught here in Queensland on this one island. Look at all these fish sitting off this snag. It's a couple hundred meters downstream from where I'm sitting right now. Let's keep kayaking down and maybe we'll be able to get one with the primitive spear. This is the snag that we saw all those fish sitting off. There's big brim sitting underneath there. Missed him. This is gonna be a good place to note. We can come back here. Now, something pretty unnerving is I can guarantee that in the past 5 to 10 years, there's been saltwater crocodiles that have swam past the entrance of this creek right here. There was actually one spotted within the past month further south than this. All the saltwater crocodiles live up north, but some get a bit cheeky and venture a bit too far down south. Oh, look at this. A little creek like this is the perfect place to find big mud crabs. During high tide, the mud crabs will come up through this area and feed on little fish scraps and anything they can get their claws on. But as the tide goes out, they can get trapped in these little areas. You know what might be a good idea? It'd be to get the drone up, see if we can find any more places like this or even see any animals in this creek with the drone. It's such a beautiful creek that we're flying up to. I think that was a little sea turtle. It's so cool, it just went down. There'd be a lot of them sitting in this creek. Big mud crab. That looks massive. We just flew out to the front of this little estuary and there's a big mud crab sitting in the shallows. I can't really tell because of the drone, but it looks like a big male. It's 215 meters away from where I'm standing right now. You know what, I'm gonna keep the drone here, run and grab this crab. It was just over this way. The mud crab is just around this area somewhere. I thought it was sitting right near these mangrove roots. Day 1, and we've already found a big mud crab. Take a look at this. Big mud crab. Massive male mud crab. And that right there is pretty much the best tasting meal that we could catch. Look at the drone flying up there. How good is that? Sandflies and mozzies are so bad out here. Got bites all over my arms and legs already. Now this looks like a pretty decent sized crab, but believe it or not, the place that we're heading, we have the potential to catch mud crabs twice the size as this one right here. So it's gonna be super cool to see what we can catch over the next few days. What's up, guys? Mind if I just get through here? All right, so what we're gonna do, break the shell off, snap them in half, and we'll clean out all of this stuff and all of these filters on the top. Look at that. So good. All right, there's one. Whoa. There we go, good to go. How cool is this? Just walking to make a fire. There's no mistaking what this creature is right here. You can see its tail at the back there, where its mouth is. Pretty good sized flathead. All right, so what have I brought with me to help me survive on these islands for the next 5 days? The first thing we got is a knife. Gonna be using this to make primitive fires, fillet up fish and also for protection. 2 torches. This one right here is waterproof. So I've got this underwater torch and a mask and snorkel that we're hopefully gonna use to try and snorkel with some deadly creatures. I bought some spare clothes, some warmer clothes, big jacket, and some long pants. The other thing that I'm really excited for and didn't really need, but I thought it'd be cool for this challenge, is a fishing rod. I was thinking maybe on night 3 or 4, it'd be cool to catch some live bait and actually cast this rod off the island at night, have a bit of a fishing session and see what we can catch. And that's it. That's all I'm bringing. Now, probably the key takeaway and what I'm most nervous about is I didn't bring any shelter. No tent, no hammock, which is what I'd normally bring to camp in the mangroves. I'm gonna be sleeping on the floor, potentially even on my kayak. Got that big fella. Now, although this place that we're heading to is called Mud Crab Island, I'm gonna try and not eat mud crabs the whole time through this video. I'm gonna try and mix it up. Different species of fish, squid. Actually doesn't sound too bad whatsoever. And on the last day that we're here, not sure how we're gonna go, but I'm gonna try to catch all of those species and cook up a really big feed. Oh mate, I'm keen for this, eh? Look at that, so good. Cooked perfectly. Tastes so good. So we obviously bought no food out here, which is daunting at times, but it's also super exciting because it puts you in that hunting state of mind where the only way that I'm going to get food out here is if I catch it with my hands or with a primitive spear. And we caught it. Big mud crab. Let's see how much meat's in this one. Yes. Queensland lollipop. We're gonna head back out to the coastline, grab my hand spear and my kayak and try and spear something off my kayak or in the shallow water for dinner tonight. We're looking for big fish or squid sitting in this shallow water. Oh, that was such a horrible throw by me. Big mullet. Big female mud crab. Oh, wobbegong shark. Right there. You see it? Just sitting right here. Look at that. Look at that shark. That is so cool. Cruising around the shallows. What a beautiful shark. It's crazy because literally as soon as I got this fire going, there were so many mozzies buzzing around me and they're pretty much all gone. The smoke scares them away, which is so good. Day number 1 out here in the mangroves, a success. I found a pretty good place. This right here is going to be my camp for the next 2 nights. And after that, we're gonna be heading further out towards the open ocean and exploring around the coastline and the islands that are just off of it. Now the water is about 10 meters down that way, but it's high tide at the moment, so we know that it's not going to come up. This is not what you'd be doing in saltwater crocodile country. Even though I know that there's no crocodiles in here, it feels wrong, but still super cool. Super cool to be back out here on another big adventure. It's going to get a whole lot more wild over the next few days. It always does. We're going to wake up early tomorrow morning, start hunting around and exploring this place. I'll see you then. Super hot out here. You can probably see me sweating right now. It's the middle of day 2. Really beautiful day today. I normally like to entertain myself by hunting around these mangroves throughout each day. Whether that's hunting for food, which is super fun, but also hunting for the other creatures, the other deadly creatures that are living here on these islands with me. Probably the 2 deadliest that I try to avoid but will no doubt come across in the next few days. A stonefish, the world's most venomous fish, which should be sitting around me in these mangroves at the moment, and stingrays. 2 creatures that would ruin the trip for sure. And it's hard walking around here because you can't see them. 2 most dangerous creatures also happen to be the 2 most camouflaged. Makes things pretty exciting. Let's start hunting around and see if we can catch anything. There we go. Good to go again. Tide's dropping. Soon this is all going to be out of water. I think a lot of the creatures that are up there should be pushing out soon. Juvenile bull shark. We've just found a little bull shark with the drone in about half a meter of water. That's insane. That's so cool. I should try chase it in the kayak. Bull sharks are one of the deadliest species here in Australia, and the deadliest species of shark that'd be living around this island. They got such high testosterone levels in their body. They're so unpredictable, but they're awesome. They're one of my favorite things to find out here in the mangroves. And this one's less than a meter long, but the big females, this little pup's mother, could have been upwards of 3 meters long. And she would have dropped this pup and his brothers and sisters at the start of this big river system. And what they'll do is they'll venture all the way up, living in these safe havens until they get big enough. No doubt in the next 10 years, that shark won't be in these systems anymore and it'll be living out in the ocean. All right, let's have a little crawl through here. See what we can find. So 20 minutes ago, this place was filled with water. The tide's gone out, but I wouldn't doubt if there was some big mud crabs left in here. So cool exploring this place, knowing that some of the biggest mud crabs here in Australia have been caught right here. Australia's mangroves are so important. These root systems shelter young fish and filter the water, holding the soil firm against the tides. They're more than just trees, they're living networks in a constant state of change. And I get to see it a lot while spending time in different areas, especially here in Australia. You know, going on intense missions like this, maybe not so intense, but uncomfortable missions like this. I've survived in the outback. I've survived in the rainforest. You know, when it comes to surviving in the outback, the rules are completely different to here in the mangroves. How you go about hunting food, how you go about collecting water. I love just taking in all of this different information. Super windy today. I'd honestly prefer it to be raining, but the good thing about it is as soon as you step up into the mangroves, the wind's gone. A lot more tired and drained today than I was yesterday, but we got 2 days left. The plan for tonight is to explore the coastline around Mudcrab Island, go hunting with the hand spear, catch dinner, and return to our first night's camp to cook up whatever we catch. And as soon as it got dark, it was pretty easy to tell how this place got its name. That's a little bit bigger. Hey, buddy.
That's even bigger. Oh, look, he's got a female with him. Big sand crab. They actually taste better than mud crabs, surprisingly. He's a bit occupied. We'll leave him be. Big female muddy. Oh, look at that. Giant flathead. It literally just beached itself. Yes! We've got dinner right there that we've just hunted with this primitive spear. And it was so crazy how it happened too. When you're shining the torch around at night, the fish go crazy. They're moving everywhere, going up into the shallows. And this flathead almost beached itself. It was in such a shallow area. And I was trying to hunt around for some squid tonight, but I guess we got a big flatty. One of the best tasting fish in here. Not a bad sized fella either. All right, we just made it back to camp. We got a fire going and we've caught 2 feeds, mud crab and this big flatty. Another big day on this island, day number 2. This camp that we've stayed at for the past 2 days has actually been so good, but tomorrow we're packing up all my possessions and leaving this place, starting to hop around on the other islands. I reckon she's nearly ready. Let's try it. There we go. Flathead's so good. And the good thing about these flatties, they're one of the most common fish in these mangroves, so I can definitely get more. Because I don't want to wear my wetsuit boots to sleep out here because they're wet and muddy. My feet get hammered by mozzies every single night. I can cover up pretty much the rest of my body, especially with this thing, but my poor feet. Day 2 here in the mangroves complete. I'll see you all early tomorrow morning. Try catch some breakfast.
The weather's changed super quick. Went from being a really nice day to overcast and rainy, which is annoying because we don't have any shelter. I didn't bring a tarp, but the plan for today remains the same. We want to do a big cook-up of mud crabs and fish later on. So what we need to do is catch a big muddy, keep spearfishing around this place, hopefully catch a flathead or something that we can cook. You can hear the wind in the background. It's actually crazy. I mean, I don't really care. Let's go up into the mangroves and catch a big mud crab. It'll be super fun. All right. So you can probably see this dark shape cruising up here. Now that is a mud crab. I've seen so many mud crabs, but this one looks big. This one looks massive. The deepest section is just over there. That is a huge crab. That is a massive mud crab. There we go. Got him. Take a look at that. Giant mud crab. And that's gonna be my dinner for day number 3. You know, I was a bit disappointed when this rain came through, and especially all this wind. It's made it so much harder to film, and I'm kind of dreading sleeping out here tonight in the wet, but we got a mud crab. I'm so stoked with that. All right, mate. We'll chuck you in there. You ready? That's a stonefish. It actually is. That's so cool. We'll get this big fella out. So we just caught this mud crab. And take a look at this big fella sitting down here on this sandbank. That's a stonefish. Now, we'd filmed bull sharks out here in the mangroves so far. We've filmed stingrays, 2 of the deadliest species that live out here. And this is the 3rd species that I'm always worried about while walking through these areas, because normally I'm barefoot, but even wearing wetsuit boots like this, those spines can pierce straight through them. Let's put him in the shallows. Here, you swim around real quick. I'm gonna chuck your friend back in here. Just gently lift him up. How cool is that? The world's most venomous fish. It's always a big wake-up call to find these fish around here. Now, we're hunting around for a fish to eat, and believe it or not, these stonefish are edible and actually taste really good apparently, but I like them too much. I'm gonna let this big fella go. Grab the primitive spear and start hunting around for something else. See you, mate. All right. I love exploring all these new islands. It's what I've been doing since I first created this channel. Now, something pretty cool is the other week, a few weeks ago, it was actually the 10-year anniversary from when I first created this YouTube channel and started posting videos out here in the wilderness of Australia. Now, over the past decade, the past 10 years, we've filmed so many amazing encounters in the wild, and not only am I still doing it, but I'm still just as passionate as I was, if not more, than 12-year-old Miller, who was roaming around the creek systems. He was a different breed. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for sticking around for the past 10 years. And this is something that I always want to do. Like, I'm truly passionate about creating these experiences and adventures for you to come on. So 10 years we've been doing it. I feel like we got a few decades left in us, and I always want to find a way to keep creating these magic experiences and taking them to the next level, and all your support really helps. So if you do want to support me, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Tell me what other adventures and survival challenges you want me to go on. So we've had a bit of a change of plans. You probably noticed the scenery is a bit different where I am right now. The plan was to kayak all the way out and camp on the coastline, but it's just way too windy. It'd be no fun camping out there. Even today where I was in the mangroves was super windy. We managed to catch ourselves a feed, which is what we're gonna cook up right now, but I didn't really want to camp out there for the night. So for the past couple hours, I've kayaked all the way back up to where the fresh water meets the salt, because this is an island survival video, right? All the way up here in this creek, I've literally found a little island surrounded by water. So we got the main system here that's filled with sharks, and there's water around the outside of it. If we come over here, there's a little creek flowing around the back as well. That mullet that we actually speared earlier, we're going to be using as bait, setting up a fishing rod and casting it off the bank here. No promises that I'm going to catch anything, but still pretty cool. We could just cook him whole. We could also not. All right. No crocs in here, I hope. All right, perfect. Well, let's move them out. And chuck these two just on top there. What a cool final day to end this survival challenge. I was thinking about cooking that mullet up, but honestly, I speared it through the main part of the flesh that you're meant to eat. It wouldn't look that great cooking it up. So what we're gonna do is, we've got my fishing rod still. We're gonna use it as bait tonight. The main fish that everything wants to eat in this system that I've been surviving in is without a doubt mullet. Everything eats them. This mud crab's so good. On some of these survival missions that I've filmed, you just get lucky, you catch so many good things to eat. If you watch my last 5-day survival adventure on Snake Island, I ate 1 catfish and foraged for bush tucker in that 5 days. We've got 2 mud crabs, a flathead. We could have eaten that mullet if we wanted to.
Third and final day out here in the mangroves. And this is definitely my favorite place that I've had to go to sleep on this 3-day mission. Really nice sandbank. Moon's coming up over there. And tomorrow morning we would have completed this challenge. I'm actually so stoked with what we accomplished in this video. All of the animals that we caught and found. That stonefish was definitely a highlight today. Believe it or not, I actually really like those things. I thought the tide was coming in, but it's not. So I don't know if we're gonna get anything on the fishing rod, but we're gonna wake up here tomorrow morning, pack up our stuff, and head out of these mangrove islands. Oh, that's the fishing rod. Oh, we're onto a fish here. I'm gonna need to run out. No. It took me into a snag. We actually might have a chance at catching something tonight. But if not, thank you so much for watching this 3-day adventure. We have survived 3 days out here in the Australian mangroves, and it's been pretty cool. I got so many other cool videos on my channel if you want to go check them out, and I'll be posting new videos every single week. So if you want to support me, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next week in the next adventure. Cheers.